What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about some more cards from EX-01. I'm in a weird situation with EX-01, because on the one hand, I have no memories or affinity with the old Digimon card game. I am loving Digimon lately, but it is only since the reveal of this card game. This card game is what grew my love of Digimon. So there's no old memories, no nostalgia, and I don't really like the art style of these old cards. I love the more recent art. But for some reason, I really don't understand. I am really enjoying seeing these reveals, and I'm going to collect this set because for some reason the art is appealing to me now, even though I always used to think it was really ugly. It's very weird. But we've got a new Tyrannomon we need to be having a little bit of a look at. We've got a new Guerreromon we need to be having a little bit of a look at. And we've got a new Ogremon we need to be having a little bit of a look at. Also, these were all revealed apparently on a poster and translated by the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming. And if you've been following this channel by now, you will know that I'm a rather large fan of the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming. Incidentally, translations were also posted by the lovely folks over at DTCG Review, so we've got kind of double translations going on here. I think we will be fine. So starting off with Tyrannomon then, we've got a 5 cost to play normally. We've got a 2 cost to Digivolve, either from red or green, which of course makes sense. We've seen Tyrannomon in red and green so far. And 4,000 power, so pretty standard in terms of a level 4, but the fact that it fits into either a red or a green deck gives us options, and that makes me pretty gosh darned happy. And we've got multiple skills here. Well, 3, which is quite a lot to be fair for a level 4. When you Digivolve, if you don't have a Tiger card in play, you may play one from your hand without paying its memory cost. Now, we've seen enough Digimon so far to know that Digimon love doing this kind of stuff. Oh, I should mention translations also from digimoncard.dev, so treble translations. And Digimon love doing this, where they basically have synergy within the set. It's always been the case since they started the game. So when they tell us you can play a Tiger for free, I can't tell you for absolute certainty there will be a Tiger in the set, but I would be absolutely stunned if there wasn't. Now, as it stands at the moment, we've only actually seen one Tiger. This was the one that came around in BT2. All of your Digimon with Tyrannomon in their name gain piercing. That is, so when you attack a Digimon, if you delete it, you also get to perform a security check, which is awesome. And on your turn, if you would Digivolve into a Digimon whose name contains Tyrannomon, you can rest this card to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So if you've already got a Tiger in play, this will be a 1 cost to Digivolve level 4, which is clearly a very good thing indeed. And if you don't have a Tiger in play, this will allow you to play one. Incidentally, I do think this tells us this is not the only Tyrannomon we're getting in the set. I think they're doing a bit of the whole Tyrannomon line thing, and I'm into it, ladies and gentlemen. I am completely into it. Now, the other non-inheritable skill here says that on your turn, this Digimon is also considered to be a green Digimon. Which again, makes a lot of sense. We often see this, where a Digimon can Digivolve from 2 colours. We often see it treated as those 2 colours. It makes perfect sense. I appreciate it. Again, it just means that you can make this hybrid green-red Tyrannomon deck so much more easily. But we've got an inheritable skill coming in here as well. While this Digimon has Tyrannomon in its name, gain 2,000 power. Yeah, they are really leaning hard into the whole Tyrannomon thing, and that is absolutely fine by me. Remember, we've got the green Tyrannomon from BT2 that when you Digivolve lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and find a level 5 Digimon and a green tamer to put into your hand. So that is something we should be a little bit thinking about. We've also seen the Tyrannomon from BT1. It's just got jamming. And to be fair, a nice weak level 4 with jamming, they won't be deleted by security Digimon, is clearly cool, But I think if we're going for some Tyrannomon Synergy Mega deck, maybe the green one is the one we want to be looking at. But my point is, if you want to make a Tyrannomon deck, this is amazing. Outside of a Tyrannomon deck, this is not some random level 4, right? It's not what it's going to do. This is here to play Tiger for free, let you have a green and red deck, and give extra power to a Digimon with Tyrannomon, and I'm into it. Now I want to see the others from this set. I want to see the whole Tyrannomon line, but make no mistake about it, if you want to play some kind of Tyrannomon deck, this is one you need to be considering. I mean, I'm going to nominally give it 4 Wassies, but it's a very hard Digimon to score. In a Tyrannomon deck, it's pretty much essential. Outside of a Tyrannomon deck, it's pretty much garbage. Moving over to Guerreromon then, we got a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. So same cost we just saw on Tyrannomon, but with a bit of extra power. That's kind of cool. And here we just have 1 inheritable skill. When you are attacking, limited to once during your turn, you may play a 3 cost or lower Matashita from your hand without paying its memory cost. Oh. Yeah, that seems pretty gosh darn good now, doesn't it? That seems like something we might get a little bit excited about. I love this. Now, incidentally, the translation we have is you might play an Ishida Yamato, Matashita. It does not say card whose name contains, which is important for BT5 and that dual white tamer. So you have been warned, do be a little bit careful on that one. The good news is we have a bunch of Matashita we can have a look at. Now, obviously, we are limited to 3 cost or lower, and here this is actually pretty relevant, because we've got the Matashita from BT1, the blue one, which doesn't work, and then we got the purple Matashita from BT2, which doesn't work. We do, however, have a couple that do. We've got the one from the blue starter deck. At the start of your turn, if your opponent has any Digimon in play that do not have an evolution source, i.e. any Digimon with no evolution sources, you gain a memory. It's not an amazing tamer, it's not seen a huge amount of play, but it has seen a bit of play here and there. It's an interesting card, and if you can play it for free, that does make it a lot more interesting. We've got the purple Matashita from the starter deck that says on your turn, if your Digimon is deleted, and bearing in mind purple loves self-deletion, you can suspend this card to gain a memory. Probably not what you're playing here, because we're probably playing a blue deck, but if you're interested in a hybrid blue-purple deck, this is one to consider. And then we got the Matashita from BT6. When your Digimon with Gabumon or Garuruomon in their name move from the breeding area to the battle area, you gain a memory and draw a card. And once during your turn, you can Digivolve one of your Gabumon into a Gabumon Bond of Friendship, just for the normal free cost. And that's a level 3 up to a level 7, which is nuts. You got to trash the top 2 cards of your security, and then if you've got any security, it only lasts a turn and then it gets deleted, but that's still pretty important. Honestly, even if you're not playing around with Gabumon Bond of Friendship here, every time you move a Gabumon or Garuruomon from the breeding area to the battle area, you draw a card and you gain a memory. That alone is worth having this mat down. And if you're not paying for this mat, but you can, throughout the course of the game on a number of occasions, gain memory and draw cards, yeah, that seems pretty good. Again, this is a very specialized card. And incidentally, we should see more of these kind of things as we go through. The game is getting on a little bit now. We've had a bunch of sets. Going more specialized makes a bunch of sense. If you are playing Matashita, this is a great, great card. Obviously, if you're not, it's terrible. The question is, will this make you want to play Mat, even if you weren't before? If you're playing it normally, great card. If you're not, terrible card. The question is whether you're going to play this to play a mat that you weren't playing normally. Now, again, I think it is extremely fair to predict that we will be getting a free cost or lower Matashita in this set. Honestly, probably a free cost. And that is going to answer some questions here. So I'm going to give this a tentative between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I don't know if any of the mats are amazing here, but certainly in a Gabumon Bond of Friendship deck, where you need to play the free cost mat, this becomes amazing. Outside of that, shall we say I have my reservations. And finally today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a new Ogremon, a purple Ogremon. 6 cost to play normally, which is clearly expensive. 2 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. It better be worth it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the good news is there's no play skill here. So even though it's expensive to play, you can Digivolve straight into it and you don't lose anything, which is clearly awesome. When you are attacking, you may trash 1 card in your hand to gain security attack +1. Now, my first question here, and that little box that says once per turn is clearly missing. But does this give you security attack +1 for the attack or for the turn? And these pretty much always give you for the turn. Does that mean if I can get multiple attacks off, if I'm readying one of my Digimon, and I make it this one, does that mean that I can potentially trash a second card and get security attack +2? Maybe. Something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely something to think about. Bearing in mind, we've got the 1 cost demonic disaster from BT5 that lets you delete one of your Digimon to unsuspend a purple Digimon. That will work here. That will work very, very nicely indeed. So, again, we're going to need a ruling on this. But if it actually works, if it is gain security attack +1 till the end of your turn, and then I can ready and do it again, so I've now got security attack +2, that's 5 security cards. Attack with security attack +1, there's 2. Attack again, go up to security attack +2, that's 3, 5 in total. That's all of them. Now, as much as I think that's fun, do bear in mind this has 5,000 power. You are not going to be able to just randomly attack over and over again and just assume you're going to survive. You need jamming. Now, interestingly enough, we've had an Ogremon with jamming. That was a green one from BT1. It's not this one. So what you really need to try and do is find a way to give this jamming. And if you can, and it works like it might, i.e. security attack +1 for the first attack +2 for the second, that makes this kind of a broken card. I do unfortunately rather suspect it will be just for this attack, which would be very sad, but I am trying to check and I will hopefully update with a little bit of text on the screen before I upload the video. Hey ho. Either way, trashing a card from your hand in purple is good, bearing in mind in BT6, we saw those purple cards that give you bonuses when you trash cards from your hand. And they're going to come in very nicely here. Like, for instance, the Ginkakumon, that when you trash a card in your hand with your own effect, you gain a memory. That's pretty gosh darn cool, ladies and gentlemen. That sounds like something we should be having a bit of a play around with. And then, of course, we had the Digitama, the Sunomon. When you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, you draw a card. So you can be drawing a card and gaining a memory when you trash a card from your hand, and then you give yourself security attack +1 as well. I'm just saying that there are combos that can be pulled off here. Then you get security attack +1. Can't be the only one that thinks this is cool. In the unlikely event, it actually does let you, if you ready, then get security attack +2. It's broken. But again, you're pretty weak. It's also got an inheritable skill, whereby when you attack, you may trash 1 card in your hand to gain 2,000 power until the end of the turn. Now again, what I just said about trashing a card from your hand works. All those combos work. You're giving yourself a little bit of extra power. And that can be cool. I don't think it's the best thing about this. I think the best thing about this is having security attack +1 on a pretty cheap level 4. Cheap to Digivolve, not to play. You need to Digivolve into it. And I think that could be really good. I like this. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 Wassies. I think it's a really cool card. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.